Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and thanks so much for being here. So today our practice is for tight hips. So if you are someone who struggles with tight hips or you're just running or training a lot and you have heaps of built up tension there, even if you're just someone who works at a desk, this is a great flow for you. It is a bit slower than just our normal flow, but we really want to settle in and spend time in those positions that are really going to help with our hips and just loosening them up and just allowing them to be a little bit more mobile and a little less tension. So as always, like I always say at the start of every class, make sure you're listening to your body. That's the most important part. If something doesn't feel right for you, obviously just back out of it or change up the pose completely. Today is a good one if you've got a bolster handy or even just like your long bed pillow, you can fold it in half and use that as a little makeshift bolster as well. So if you have that, just have it next to your mat. You might need it, you might not. Anywho, let's get straight into it. So we're just going to start in a seated position, sitting up nice and tall, just in a loose cross-legged position. Adjust your glutes, make sure you're nice and comfy, and just rest your palms open on your knees. Take a moment to just roll your shoulders up to your ears and set them down and back. And just closing your eyes down. Bring your focus to your breath and just allow yourself to slow your breath down before we begin our practice today. As you sit here, just allow the weight of the backs of your hands resting on your knees to just already start to release a bit of pressure from the hips. If you're super tight like me through your hips, you can probably already feel that there's a bit of a stretch happening there when you just gently press down onto your knees. Taking 2 more deep breaths here and just releasing any thoughts that don't need to come along on your practice with you today. When you're ready, flipping your palms over, grabbing hold of your knees, and we're just going to move in nice wide circles. As you come back, you can use that tension on your knees, like you're drawing a big circle with your hips. Noticing any tension points, just moving with your breath. Once you've done 3 one way, we're just going to move 3 back in the opposite direction. Just getting a feel for where you're holding that tension, maybe any tight spots, or just any discomfort to avoid. Nice and slowly, rolling over onto your hands and knees, taking your knees nice and wide, and we're just going to gently sit back into a child's pose. Extend your fingertips out in front, pull your hips back down towards your heels, and just taking a moment here. You might like to pivot, rolling on your head, on your forehead, gently side to side, releasing and massaging while we push our hips back towards our heels. Take 1 more deep breath in, and on your exhale, can you sink a little further back? Relax a little more through the hips. And then inhaling, coming up to all fours. Good. Taking a moment to move through our cat-cows as we inhale, lifting the hips, rolling the shoulders back and down, looking up to the ceiling. And as we exhale, rolling, tucking the tailbone, lifting through the spine, and dropping the head and neck. Good. Notice if as you tilt your hips forward, as we drop our belly, roll our shoulders back, can you feel anything into your hip flexors? And as we round through our spine, as we exhale, pressing away through all fours, you notice anything in your lower back at those top points of your hips. Coming back to all fours, and we're just going to keep our core switched on here. Like you're sucking your belly button towards your spine. We're going to take our left knee towards our elbow, open it as wide as you can, like you're drawing a circle with your knee, and then bring it back in, brushing the opposite leg. Bring it back to the elbow, draw that wide circle with your knee, and bring it back in. Just getting a bit of movement through our hips. Let's take one more. Inhaling to open, and exhale, plant it back down. Shifting your weight into the left knee, let's take the opposite. Take your right knee, tuck it in towards your right elbow, and then take a wide circle, deep breath in as we open the hip. Exhale, bringing it back in, up to the elbow. Inhale, open. Good, let's go for two more. Inhaling, open, and exhale to close that circle. One more, nice and wide. Draw that big circle with your knee and coming back down. Good. Spread your fingers, tuck your toes, and let's take it back to our downward dog. Pressing into your hands and just start to shift your hips side to side. Again, just noticing how they feel and settling into your heels. Draw your hips back. Create that length through your spine. On your next inhale, take a deep breath in, reach your right leg up to the sky. Draw the heel into the bottom, and we're just going to open our hip. Look under that right armpit and lift that knee to the sky. As you exhale, step that right foot to the outside of the right hand. And we're just going to move through our hip circles. So take that foot as wide as you need to. And then slowly, gently, starting to move in wide circles one way. Moving with our breath. And then back in the opposite direction. Really thinking about letting that left hip hang heavy. And when you're ready, gently relaxing that back knee down to the ground. And we're just going to take our right hand just super gently, placing a little pressure to open that right knee, and just take a little twist over that right shoulder. We're not forcing that knee out by any means. You might want to let your right foot roll onto the edge. But we're just taking a gentle look over that right shoulder so that left hip drops slightly closer to the ground. Take two more deep breaths here. And then slowly releasing, bringing both hands back down to the mat. So up to you here. My hips feel super tight at the moment, so I'm going to bring my bolster down. You can obviously come onto a pillow, blocks, books, whatever you have laying around, or you can come all the way down onto your forearms onto the mat. So whatever feels good for you, we're just going to come and hold here for about a minute, just so we can really open up, release through the hips, and just allow your head and neck to just release, relax, dangling here. If at any point it becomes too much on your hips, you can just obviously come a little higher or back up just onto your hands. Whatever feels good for you. Remembering we're always listening to our body, always checking in. Never forcing our body, just working with it. If this is a super uncomfortable position for you, maybe notice what thoughts start to enter your mind. And can you use your breath to just relax, release? With every exhale, release another thought that creeps in. We'll hold here for a few more breaths. Take one more full inhale and a full exhale as you slowly come back out. Just move your bolster away for the moment. And we're just going to step back, lengthen through that front foot, extend through the knee so you can just get a little stretch, a little rebound there, and then plant back onto all fours. Tuck your back toes, and we're going to step our right foot straight back into our into our three-legged dog. Lift that foot right up to the ceiling. Draw the heel into the bum, and this time we're drawing nice big circles like we did on all fours. Take a deep breath in, reach that right knee up to the sky. Exhale, bring it back down to brush the opposite knee towards our chest, and then opening back up. Good, 2 more like that. Deep breath in, opening. Exhale, bring it back to center. 1 more, deep breath in, draw that big circle, and exhale, planting back down. Good. On your next inhale, roll forward into your plank. And as you exhale, move through your chaturanga. Inhale to up dog. And exhale back to down dog. Good. Drawing your heels towards the mat as close as they'll go. Spread through your fingers and again find your downward dog. Take a deep inhale here and a deep exhale to settle back towards your hips. On your next inhale, let's take our left leg up to the sky, three-legged dog. Draw the heel into the bottom and just let the hips hang open, like you're trying to reach that left knee to the sky, looking under that left arm. Feel that deep lengthening down the left side of the body. And as you exhale, step your left foot to the outside of your left hand, keeping that back knee up for now. Take that left foot as wide as you need, and we're just coming through our hip circles. Gently moving a few rounds to the right. And then when you're ready, switching it up a few rounds to the left. Again, like you're drawing big circles with your hips, take them nice and wide. When you're ready, come to plant that back knee onto the ground, untuck the toes, and then just super gently, we're going to let that left foot roll onto the edge and gently press out our left knee with our left hand and take a gentle gaze over our left shoulder. So again, I'm not forcing, I'm not placing necessarily any pressure here. I'm just the weight of my hand is enough pressure to feel a bit of a stretch through my hips, through the outsides of my quads and my glutes. When you're ready, coming back to all fours. And again, you can just do what you did on the opposite side. Remembering both sides might feel completely different, but if you started on a block or a bolster, you might want to bring that back in and we can settle in here. If at any time you feel like you want to remove the bolster and you feel warm enough to go down to the floor, you're more than welcome to do that as well. Coming back to our breath again, just shake your head and neck side to side. Release for a moment. And try and find some enjoyment with that exhale breath, releasing that tension with every breath that's released as well. Taking a few more deep breaths here. With every exhale, can you relax a little more, soften through the hips, or just notice where you're holding tension. It might even be in your shoulders from holding you up. Wherever you can, release a bit more tension with every breath. Taking 2 more full inhales and nice long exhales here. And then when you're ready, Slowly, gently making your way back up onto your hands. Remove that bolster and just sit your hips back as far feels comfortable. Feel that slight lengthening through the back of the front leg. And then coming back onto your hands, tuck your back toes and step it back into your three-legged dog. Let's take that left leg right up to the sky, draw the heel into the bottom, and we're going to draw those big circles with our knees. So tuck that knee into your chest, open it wide out on the inhale, and exhale as you bring it back down towards you. Inhale to open, and exhale to bring it back in. Two more, inhaling, exhale. Last one, inhale and exhale, plant it back down onto the ground and sit back into your downward dog. Step by step, we're going to walk our feet to meet our hands at the front of the mat. Take a deep breath in as we inhale, lengthen, and as you exhale, find your forward fold, just gently melting your body down against your thighs. We're going to lift our heels and take our hands to tuck underneath our heels so that our forearms are lining up with the backs of our calves. We're going to pull ourselves in, bend your knees as much as you need to form that nice little ball. We're nice and tight here. Tuck your nose towards your knees. And then from here, we're going to start to extend through our legs, but keeping our belly connected to our thighs. So as soon as my belly starts to disconnect, which is about here for me, I'm just going to hold that position. So that stretching, lengthening through your hamstrings and your glutes. Take two more deep breaths. Keep pressing here. Try and keep your elbows tucked back behind, lengthening through the backs of the legs, relaxing through the top of the head, and exhale, release. Good. Let's take a deep breath in. Inhale to your half lift, and just shimmy your feet out to the edges of your mat. Take a deep breath in, lengthen through the spine, and as you exhale, drop your hips, coming in to your squat. Bring your hands to the center of your chest. You might want to come to sit on a bolster or anything else that you have, and we want to find length as we sit into our hips here. So using the backs of my arms to press my knees open, shuffle side to side if you need to find that comfy position. And we're going to hold here for a few deep breaths. If at any point it becomes too much, you can just bring your hands to the floor and release your hips. Otherwise, finding length through our spine, keeping our thumbs pressed to the center of our chest, closing your eyes or keeping your gaze forward so that we're lengthening through our spine. Imagine someone pulling a piece of string from the top of our head, creating that nice long length towards the ceiling. Taking two more deep breaths here. Good. From here, we're going to plant our hands and extend our hips up to the ceiling. Shuffle your feet nice and wide now. Take a deep breath in, lengthening here, extending through the hips. And as you exhale, we're going to take that forward fold, like we're coming to bring the top of our head towards the ground. Take your feet as wide as you need to. And then we're going to flip our hands so that they crawl back between our legs. If you can, your forehead can come, or the top of your head can come to rest on the ground. Otherwise, just stay where you are. Keep your hips pushing back. Holding here. Can you relax through the hips? Can you use your fingertips to creep away from you, back between your legs? One more full inhale. And a full exhale, coming back out the exact same way we came in. Take a deep breath in, coming into your half lift, and then shuffle your feet all the way back in to our forward folds. Deep breath in and exhale to release. Good. From here, we're going to plant our hands and step our left foot back, coming into the lunge on our right side. Take a deep breath in, reaching up tall. And as we exhale, we're going to sit deep into our hips here. You can take your hands to your hips if you prefer, and just settle into that position. Deep breath in, reaching through our fingertips. And as we inhale, open through our hips, rising into our warrior two. Extending through our fingertips in opposite directions, and then really sitting deeper into our hips, really opening through there. Good. Holding for a breath or two. Can we sink a little deeper? Good. From here, bring your hands to your heart, and we're going to shift over to the opposite side. So I'm shifting into that left leg now. My right toes point towards the sky. Good. You can hold here, or you can even take your hands to the mat and use the back of that left arm to press out against the knee. You'll feel that deep stretch into your right leg. Good. Holding for one more breath. And as we exhale, spin to the back of the mat, and we'll frame the opposite foot. On your next inhale, take a deep breath in, rising up tall. As you exhale, sink into your hips. Good. Holding here for a moment and just feeling that stretch through your right leg, your right hip flexor. On your next inhale, opening into your warrior two. Extending through your fingertips in opposite directions. And again, can you sink a little deeper into the hips, pressing that left knee out towards your pinky toe. Hold for a breath or two more here before we take it over into our Skandasana on the opposite side. Deep breath in, bring your hands to your heart, and as we exhale, we pivot over back to the front, bending into our right knee. Point your left toes towards the sky, either sitting up tall here or bring your hands down to the mat. Adjust as much as you need to find that position. Good. So just like we're squatting on our right leg and getting that nice stretch through our adductors on our left side. Hold for a breath or two here. Allow your exhale breath to release through the hips. One more inhale. And exhale, come to frame that right foot at the front. Stepping off the back leg and finding your forward fold. Nice work. Shifting your hips side to side here. Good. When you're ready, shuffle your feet back out to the edges of the mat and dropping your hips into your squat position. Bring your hands to your heart. Good. As we start to slow our practice back down, just keep your bolster handy. You might want it for this next position. Taking your hands back behind you and just supporting your body down onto the mat. Like I said, have your bolster handy. Extending through the legs, we're going to take a slight reclined pose here. So a few ways you can get into this. You might want to start just with the bolster lined up behind you. And we're going to take our left foot, so shifting onto your right side. Take your left foot to tuck behind you. This can obviously be super sensitive if you've got wonky knees or hips or anything like that. So just take it as you will. If you need to skip this, go for it. Stack up as many pillows, bolsters, blocks as you need behind. And we're slowly, gently going to recline over here. If you feel like you don't really feel anything there, what you can do is take the opposite foot and press into the ground, taking a bit more of a stretch into that hip. In this position, I feel super comfortable, so I'm going to remove the bolster and come all the way down onto my elbows first. Just check in with myself there. Does it feel fine to go further? And then I'm going to take it all the way down to the ground. Keeping that back leg tucked in nice and close. And then again, if I want to deepen the stretch, I can bend up the right knee and press down into my right foot. And that's going to give me that deeper stretch through my hip flexor and my quad. Just again, slowing that breath right down. I'm keeping my left knee drawn towards the mat. Resting your hands onto your hips or out by your sides, whatever feels best for you. Taking 2 more deep breaths here. And then gently releasing. If your right leg's bent up, just extending it back out. Roll slightly onto that right foot and hug your knee in towards you. Good. Drawing that left knee just slightly wider than the body. On your next exhale, extend your left hand and take the knee across the body, coming into your twist. Keeping your left shoulder planted on the ground. Using that right hand to deepen into the twist if you need. And gently releasing. Taking a deep breath in, a nice long stretch overhead. And then on your exhale, shifting over to your left side. And we're going to take that right leg back behind. You can obviously come all the way up if you want to readjust onto your bolster. Otherwise, again, once that right leg's tucked back behind, just finding your way down onto your elbows or onto your bolster. Check in if it feels good there. Then you can go all the way. Again, really making sure we're listening to our body here. Settling in, taking a few deep breaths. If you feel like you want to take the position deeper, you can draw up that left knee, planting your left foot into the ground and just gently pressing into the ground with your left foot as you draw your right knee towards the mat. Letting your hands rest on your hips. Or just gently letting them splay by your sides. We'll take 2 more deep breaths here. When you're ready, extending that left leg back out. Rolling onto your left hip and untucking that right knee. Draw the right knee in towards you, hugging it slightly wider than the body. And then extend your right arm out by your side and draw your right leg, across to the left side. Bring your focus back to your breath as we slow right down. And on your next exhale, completely release. Take a deep breath in, reaching your arms overhead. Take any other stretches or adjustments that you need. And you have the option today to either lay in your normal Shavasana to finish, or one thing I like to do after a hip practice is come into your legs up the wall. So just scoot your hips right in nice and close. It's the easiest way to get into it. And then we're just going to shift, come onto our back, and then we can kind of shimmy ourselves into the wall. Good. Let your hands rest wherever feels comfortable, and just feeling that pressure from the heaviness from your legs drawing down into your hips. I find so nice after a hip practice. Letting the blood flow from your legs all the way back up your body. Staying here for as long as you need today. Taking the time to just rest and reset after your practice. We can hold so much tension through our hips, especially as women. So it's nice to intentionally release that. Noticing any differences before your practice and after, and the sensations in your hips. And just allowing your Shavasana to be that last little time where you get to really let go of anything that you don't want to walk through the rest of your day with, leaving it all on the mat. So as always, stay in your Shavasana for as long as you need. Take your time there. That's often the best, juiciest part of the practice. So give yourself whatever you need in this time. And thank you guys again so much for joining me for another class. It's always nice to see your comments and get your messages after the practice or after you've completed the class. So keep that coming. It's always so good for me to see. If you don't already, please like and subscribe, and comment below if you did the class, how you felt, any feedback you have, and any other classes that you want to see. It really helps me provide classes that you guys want to do as well. So thank you guys so much for joining me. Namaste. Have the most beautiful day, and see you next time.